Oh boy, first memory of Richmond Hill. Believe it or not, it was before I actually moved here in 1983. I think I competed at a competition at Elginborough Arena when I was probably about 8 or 9 years old. And the arena seemed huge at the time, being that young and that small. That was definitely one of my first memories of being in Richmond Hill. My father already had established himself here in Richmond Hill as a landscaper, owning his own company. So he would, cut the grass near Hillcrest Mall, and as I grew up, I actually helped him in the area. So, I got to know the area quite well, and it's changed quite a bit since then. We'd grab ice with the Richmond Hill Figure Skating Club, and I'd come in and skate here at Elginborough Arena, which I had skated many hours in the small rink on the west side. And there's a coach, Jerry, who used to work with me a little bit on the harness, especially when I was working on trying to get triple axles. And there would be early mornings, he would come in and help me out. There'd be no one else on the ice, it would just be me and him. And sometimes late at night, I'd come back from training in Barrie, and I just need extra ice. And I'd come in and skate in Richmond Hill. I'd grab ice here, and the mayor at the time, Mayor Bell, was always really helpful in helping me out, and the Arena Association at the time, and they were always helpful for whatever I needed. The biggest thing for me living in Richmond Hill was sort of the family community that I always felt such a strong support from the community here. Even when I was really young, when I was in my teenage years, and I was just so slowly coming up into the ranks, and the community knew who I was, but I wasn't sort of nationally known. And I'd be cutting grass with my dad at the Hillcrest Mall, and people would honk the horn on the way by, and I'd be pushing a mower, cutting with a trimmer, and people would recognize me, and I was out there working with my dad, helping him in the summers. And I always sort of felt this really great connection with the energy and the people here that was different than anywhere else I've ever been. And it's changed so much over the years, but still it feels like home to me. And when we moved here in, I think it was 1982 or 83, up in Gamble Side Road between Yonge and Bathurst, it was just land, and there's a lot of dirt bike stories that I had in that area and everything. Now it's all houses, but it was that town that was separate from Toronto, and it was that, that a little bit north or a little bit nicer and disconnected. Now it's all one, but it brings back a lot of great memories. I have that little spot, sort of lump in my throat when I drive by the area, because my career from the time that I moved here is when it really started taking off. After the '94 season, becoming world champion, Canadian champion, Olympic silver medal, everything came in one year. It was within like a 4-month period, my life completely changed. And that's when the mayor calls you and gets a hold of you and says, we're going to be changing the name of the arena, and we're going to be naming it after you. And that was a pretty exciting time. It'll always be home to me, no matter how much it changes. And there's just something special about Richmond Hill that is just not quite like anywhere else. The memories are so ingrained here. All the highs and lows, the coming home and being totally elated, and you want to lie on the couch and just realize I won a world title, or I won my second world title, or I won my third world title, or I have my silver medal at Olympics. It was here that I grew up and lived and been around and shared and walked down the streets and people honking their horns, or everything is here. And no matter where I'm going to live in the world in the future, this will always be that place for me.